Hey, good afternoon. Here we are. It is Friday afternoon, 3:30 in the afternoon. That means it's time for Men of Impact podcast here in Corona, California. We are at the Hope Recovery Studios, and it is so wonderful to be here. I am so happy to be here. We weren't here last week. Last week was a holiday, so I hope everybody had a great holiday. It's hard to really ask people to come and talk to you on a holiday weekend, and it's hard to find some, especially if it's your holiday weekend as well. But we just wanted to here today. I don't have a guest today. I'm just doing another Impact Moments. This one is going to be called Pesky Little Gods, and these are just things. They're just thoughts that I have. They're just thoughts that I have that I like to, I don't write anything down. I just don't journal. I should. I'm going to try and do better. I just don't. And so I just rolled around in my head. So there are always things I want to get off my chest, but I don't write them down. And so I think about them for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I'm going to come talk about them. And that's just kind of how it's going to go. Every now and again, I'm going to do a little 10-minute thing or 15-minute thing, but first, it's live. So, Men of Impact, we are having a breakfast tomorrow here in Corona at Corky's off of Cajalco at 7 a.m. Everybody's it's a men's breakfast. So if you're a guy, you're invited. Anyone in Corona, anybody listening at anywhere, you're invited. Come down, have breakfast with us, break bread. Corky's with a bunch of good guys. It's always a good time, a lot of laughs. We laugh a lot. So that is tomorrow morning instead of the normal Bible study that we have at the Starbucks off of Indian Truck Trail and the 15 freeway. That is every Saturday morning from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. We meet and we study the Bible. We usually study a book, and we do Old Testament, New Testament, Old Testament, New Testament. We just finished Isaiah, and what we do is when we finish a book, we go have breakfast together. We break bread together, take a break, and just figure out what book we're going to do next. So we just finished Isaiah, which is a long book, so it took us a long time. But if you have any questions, you want to come see us, you want to come to the Bible study, then you can email us at Men of Impact, impact with a K, at gmail.com. Ask if you have any questions about when we're going to be there, what we're doing. Maybe if you want to read before you show up. Some guys do that. Some guys don't, but we are all from different churches. We're not from one church. So all men are welcome to study about Jesus. You can find us on our webpage, which is www.menofimpact, impact with a K, at Gmail. I'm sorry. www.menofimpact.com, or you can find us on Facebook at Men of Impact. Now, Impact is on Facebook. Impact is IM-PAKT, or you can find us at Men of Impact on Instagram. I think, and please log into Men of Impact YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, ask to be reminded when we're on. That would be great. We're also on, if what you can do is podcasts, we're on all the podcasts. You can go to Spotify podcasts. You can go to any podcast, really. I mean, just go to Google Men of Impact podcast, and it'll take you to wherever it is, whatever platform you happen to be on. So then we do a lot of things. We do life together. A lot of us do. We just went on a fishing trip together. And if you know anybody that might be struggling or that is going through something or that needs someone, that needs a group of guys. And I think if you're a guy, you need a group of guys that you can trust, hang out with, talk to, that it's not going to get anywhere, because that is rule number one. So I'm trying to find something here. I know this is kind of rude, but it is what it is. It's my show. I do what I want. kidding, guys. Not kidding, not kidding. So, Men of Impact, and I just want to read our mission statement that we have on our page. So, mission statement is building personal Christian character by encouraging men to have a positive impact on their families, friends, and neighborhoods, one community at a time. That's kind of that's not kind of our goal. That is our goal. So, if you can go on there. You can check out. Facebook page has some pictures of a widow that we helped when we cleaned her yard a week ago. So go check that out. If you're up for helping and you want to get involved in your community, then do it. We all sat around long enough, so we're trying to get involved in our community. Start your own Men of Impact at the Starbucks near you, and then we'll start. We'll help you get started. We'll encourage you how God's going to help you grow that, and then you can start helping out your community with your guys, and then we can all meet one day, and all come together and just meet and have a Corky's breakfast, so to speak. But anyway, I want to talk about pesky little gods in our life. When you go, pesky little gods go all the way back to, I think that's enough information on Men of Impact. I think if you guys can't find us now, well, I don't know. It's too late to teach you. That's enough. You can find us. I'm not going to give my phone number on the air. That's for sure. So, we're not calling. You can contact me through any of those messages, but. Pesky little gods. What does that mean in our life, right? What does that mean? And it's a human thing. Well, how about that? The human condition, we like to say, right? We like to say the human condition, right? And the human condition really is flesh, right? Because we have two men or two people in our lives, two people within us. We have a soul, right? That's our spiritual man or our spiritual woman. And then we have our flesh, which is our human man or our human woman, right? And our flesh fights against the spirit at all times. I saw this great post the other day, guys, that it said, imagine how important we must be that both God and Satan are fighting for our soul. Imagine how important we must be to both of them, or our soul must be at least. So that's very encouraging for me. I wish I wasn't so important to Satan, but the more important I am, if I'm super important to Satan, if we're super important to Satan, that means we're doing the right things for God. If you're not doing the right things for God, Satan's not going to worry about you. You're already on his team. You're already there. You're already coming to the plate. So, pesky little gods. We can go all the way back. I mean, let's go all the way back, but it all comes from the flesh. If you go all the way back to Genesis, there's always pesky little gods, right? There's God who made everything. And then there's always the gods that we put in our lives. And pride is a god that can be a pesky little god. We don't look at it like a pesky little god, but if you look all the way back to even Cain and Abel, right? Pride is what caused murder. I mean, think about how strong the flesh is. God is with them, literally can talk to them and they can talk to God, literally, right? But they are doing their own thing, or at least Cain is doing his own thing, the way he wants to do things, right? So my guess is he was spending less time with God than either God wanted or than his brother because he didn't get it right. And then his pride and his jealousy and his envy caused murder. We went exactly, as a human race, we went exactly one generation before we killed somebody. Exactly one. That's all it took. That is a problem. That is a major problem for us. That is a major flesh issue. And I'm accentuating that to let you know how strong the flesh is, right? Because the flesh is part of this world, correct? So this is just me. These are my thoughts. These are my opinions. Don't be sending me emails about how I'm wrong. It is what it is, right? I'm not saying anything that isn't written in the Bible. I may be a little twisted, but we can have a discussion But these are how I see it now and what my opinions are. So if we are, all of those things are pesky little gods, right? They infiltrate into our lives and they make us, well, we make decisions based on the flesh. So if you think about how strong the flesh is, that's why church on Sunday isn't enough, people. I'm talking to you Christians. If you're going to church on Sunday only, that ain't enough because you're playing on the devil's playground the rest of the week. So the flesh is so strong. The flesh is of the world, right? And the devil is the ruler of the world. So luckily, happily, ecstatically, right? There's God, right? And he who is not of this world is greater than he who is of the world. He who is within you is greater than he who is in the world, right? He is, and this is unfortunately, guys, if you're a non-believer, unfortunately, this only applies to Christians who believe in Jesus Christ because he is in us. His DNA is in us. He told us so, right? So he who is within us is greater than he who is of the world. The flesh is of the world. I mean, it's of the world. It's born of the world, right? It's where sin is born. We are born sinners. You can't tell me we're not, because a little kid will lie to you before they know what a lie is, or before they even know they're going to get in trouble for it, right? That's how they learn what a lie is, right? They tell it and get in trouble. So if the flesh is of the world, right? We, to combat that, absolutely, positively, each and every one of us need Jesus Christ. You don't believe me? You don't like it? Oh, well. We all need Jesus in our lives. The book says so. God says so. I don't know. Let's just talk about the book for a second. Everything, every prophecy in this book has come true, except for the last book. Every prophecy in this book has actually come true. And these prophecies were written sometimes hundreds of years earlier, decades earlier, sometimes centuries earlier. It's crazy, but it's true. So these pesky little gods get in our way. And what is a pesky little god? We can make anything a god of our life, because the pecking order goes God, spouse, children, job, or the rest, right? That's how it goes. And if we're not playing it that way, whoever we make a priority, we've turned that priority into our own little god. Example. You don't have enough money to pay the rent, right? But it's Junior's birthday. And Junior wants to go to Disneyland. But you really don't have money to pay the rent. And you've read over, and actually money is talked about a lot in the Bible, like it or not. Like it or not, it is. Just be a good steward of your money. We're not even talking about tithing. We're talking about being a good steward of your money. So you know that God doesn't want you to be stressed, suffer, anxiety, anything like that. He doesn't want that for us. He just doesn't want that for us. He has plans for us that are not of death, that are not of destruction, right? But they're prosperity, good. But only if we're in his will. So it isn't going to be God's will. Hey, don't pay your rent because that boy needs to go to Disneyland. When you take that boy to Disneyland, you just made your child your God. Harsh as that might sound, that's the way it is. Pay the darn rent. The kid will be fine at Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, right? Or just a little party at the house. I'm just saying. We can make a car. We need that car. We can make a house. We can make our spouse. All these pesky little gods. I mean, at least we're not carving them out of wood and praising. Oh, well, there are people doing that too, aren't there? So way back then, there was golden calves, carved wooden idols that they're building altars to and worshiping and praying. And these are people that are literally just a couple of generations separated. I mean, look at Noah. I mean, he told everybody for 100 years. He built a boat for 100 years and told them it was going to rain. Nobody believed him. Right? So, because of their pride, because they were doing what they wanted to do, which was at that time, if you read the Bible, it says they were engaging in lots of sexual activities, lots of things that were not of God. Here it is in a nutshell. If it is not of God, it is of the enemy. That's a Christianese word we like to use, the enemy, but really it's Satan. So if it's not of God, it's Satan. It's of Satan. There's two teams because Jesus said, the Bible tells us if we're not for him, we're against him. If we're not for him, we're against him. Two teams, God, Satan. That's it. There's not a third team. You don't get to, play for the Dodgers. It's just, there's two teams. And you pick one or it'll pick you. So on that note, and I'm going to end it right here, controversial. So on that note, if you look at it that way, right, and you really think about it, God doesn't send you to hell. You chose it. So stop with the whining. Stop with the why me. We're choosing hell. There's a guidelines outline right here on how to choose heaven. If you don't choose heaven, you've made a choice. And if I'm right and you're wrong, you got a problem. But if I'm wrong, what are you going to lose? What's it going to hurt you to praise Jesus and believe? Oh, I know what's going to hurt. That's right. That pesky little God, you, yourself, our biggest pesky little God in our entire lives, us. We want to be the God of our own life. Why would we do what our book tells us to do? Right? Why would we believe there is a God when we are wonderful? We've done all this. God didn't give me anything. You better get past yourself, man. I'm telling you right now, you better get over yourself. You didn't do anything. God allowed it. It is what it is. It's his. And if what you're looking for is man's approval, that's what you're going to get. Man's approval. That's it. It says in the Bible, if you're looking for man's approval, that's all you're going to get. You're going to get man's approval. You're not going to get God's approval, which means you're not in God's will, which means he doesn't know you. You don't want that answer. When you're there before him, you don't want that answer. Anyway, I'm not going to get all doom and gloom. And I'm just saying, Jesus loves you, man. He loves you so much. He doesn't want anybody. The Bible tells us so that none shall perish and all should have everlasting life. He has given me, as a Christian, the job of talking about the good news. And the good news is all you got to do is believe in Jesus Christ. That's what you do. Believe in Jesus, follow Jesus, get better, follow Jesus and listen to Jesus, live in God's will. You'll be good. That's all you got to do is believe. Otherwise, it's going to be rough. We're going to spend eternity somewhere. And I don't want to go without you. So I don't want to sound, again, it's my job. The Great Commission. Christ told everybody right before he ascended into heaven, he told his disciples, and I'm going to paraphrase it, Anthony's version. Get out there. It's on you now. I'm out. You're it. You're my plan. God doesn't have a plan B. It's us Christians. So if we have something that can save lives and we're not telling people about it, what are you really doing? Are you really a Christian? Are we really a good Christian if we're not telling everybody about it? I don't know. That's something we'll find out later. Anyways, I'm done. That's my rant. I went way over. So I had fun. And I appreciate it. Again, we're having breakfast tomorrow, 7 a.m. Corky's off Cahalco in the 15. We meet every Saturday morning off of Indian Truck Trail at the Starbucks by the Vaughns from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. If you need more information, you can find us, Men of Impact, Impact with the K, on any of the anything. It's menofimpact.com, Men of Impact on Facebook, Men of Impact on Instagram, Men of Impact on YouTube. Please go to the YouTube channel. Please go to the YouTube channel. Like it, subscribe, and ask for comment too, please. The more of those things we get, the more views, the more comments, the more likes, and the more reminders we get, the more people that gets to see our message. Anyway, Jesus loves you very much, much more than I do. Have a great day.